No, no problem, Prabhu.
God, thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, we succumb blood of ancestors, all glory to Srila
Hare
Prabhupada.
Krishna, Vivek Prabhu, Pranam, Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Vishnu Dandat Manam Jai Srila Prabhupada. Hare
Yeah.
Hare
Can I
Krishna,
start?
Krishna, Bhagavan, Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Krishna Prabhu, Nirvana Jai Srila Prabhupada, all good.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Jnana-timirandasya Jnananjala Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Svayam Rupam Kadamayam Dadanti Sva Padantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutaparakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavam Shri Rupam Sagajartam Sahagana Raguna Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijanam Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalitam Shri Vitam Kampitam Scha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radhakanta Namastute Tap Tap Kanchana Gourangi Radhe Vrindavaneshware Vrisabhanu Sutadevi Pranamari Hare Priye Vancha Kalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhavevacha Paritanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamini Tinamine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Praschatadeshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Haribo.
Vibhu, thank you so much, Prabhu.
Hare
Thank you, Prabhu.
So today we read about killing the demon Pralambasura. And maybe also forest fire. Yeah, we read also forest fire.
Oh, forest fire.
Yes, who wants to start with Pralambasura's story?
I will
I,
start, Gopal.
Yes, Prabhu, thank you. So now I'll ask.
Just a second. I have to copy paste the link.
Here is the story, Haribol.
Just only.
Yes, Prabhu.
After extinguishing the devastating fire, Krishna, surrounded by his relatives. Actually, this is after forest fire or before forest fire?
This is this is after forest fire. Next is another forest fire.
Okay. After extinguishing the devastating fire, Krishna, surrounded by his relatives, friends, cows, and bulls, glorified by their singing, again entered Vrindavana, which is always full of cows. While Krishna and Balrama were enjoying life in Vrindavana in the midst of cowherd boys and girls, the season gradually changed to summer. The summer season in India is not very much welcome because of its excessive heat. But in Vrindavana, everyone was pleased because summer there appeared just like spring. This was only possible. This was possible only because Lord Krishna and Balrama, who are controller demons of Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, were residing there. In Vrindavan, there are many falls which are always pouring waters, and the sound is so sweet that it covers the sound of crickets. And because water flows all over, the forest looks very green and beautiful. The inhabitants of Vrindavan were never disturbed by the scorching heat of the sun or high summer temperatures. The lakes of Vrindavan are surrounded by green grasses and various kinds of lotus flowers bloom there, such as Palhara, Panjot, Patla, and the air blowing in the Vrindavan carries the aromatic pollen of those lotus flowers. When the particles of water from the waves of Yamuna, the lakes, and the waterfalls touch the bodies of the inhabitants of Vrindavana, they automatically felt a cooling effect. Therefore, they were practically undisturbed by the summer season. Vrindavan is such a nice place. Flowers are always blooming, and there are even various kinds of decorated deer. Birds are chirping, peacock are crowing and dancing, and bees are humming. The cuckoos there sing nicely in five kinds of hues. Krishna, the reservoir of pleasure, blowing his flute, accompanied by his elder brother Balrama and other cowherd boys and cows, entered the beautiful forest of New Vrindavan to enjoy the atmosphere. They walked into the midst of newly grown leaves of trees whose flowers resembled peacock feathers. They were garlanded by those flowers and decorated with saffron chalk. Sometimes they were dancing and singing, and sometimes wrestling with one another. While Krishna danced, some of the cowherd boys sang, and others played on flute, and some bugled on buffalo horns or clapped their hands praising Krishna. Dear brother, you are dancing very nicely. Actually, all these boys were demigods descended from higher planets to assist Krishna in his pastime. The demigods garbed in the dress of cowherd boys were encouraging Krishna in his dancing, just as one artist encourages another with a praise. Up to that time, neither Balrama nor Krishna had undergone the hair cutting ceremony. Therefore, their hair was clustered like rose feathers. They were always playing hide and seek with the boys friend or jumping or fighting with one another. Sometimes, while his friends were chanting and dancing, Krishna would praise them. My dear friends, you are dancing and singing very nicely. The boys played at catching ball with the pear-shaped fruit and round Jamalki. They played blindman's buff, challenging and touching one another. Sometimes they imitated the forest deer and various kinds of birds. They joked with one another by imitating croaking frogs, and they enjoyed singing underneath the trees. Sometimes they would play like a king and his subject among themselves. In this way, Balaram and Krishna, along with their friends, played all kinds of sports and enjoyed the soothing atmosphere of Vrindavan, full of rivers, lakes, rivulets, pine trees, and excellent fruits and flowers. Once, while they were engaged in the transcendental pastimes, a great demon of name Pralambasura entered their ceremony desiring to kidnap both Balrama and Krishna. Although Krishna was playing the part of a coward boy as the supreme personality of Godhead, he could understand everything. Past, present, future. Uh, Sorry, Prabhu, there's a cat in my house. I'll have to leave. I'll join back in a few minutes.
Okay. No worries.
No problem. Thank you, Prabhu.
What happened? What happened, Prabhu say?
A cat entered my house, a wild cat.
Cat? Ah?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
I was attracting her.
Hmm.
Just but you said Pralambasura, the cat entered. You said Pralambasura entered, then the cat entered.
Okay, then I can continue, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
You can continue.
Yes, Prabhu, you can.
Okay. Devarsh Prabhu, are you free now? You can continue and then.
No, you can read. It's fine.
No, I think you are busy, I think. Okay. Yeah, a great demon of the name Pralambasura entered their company, desiring to kidnap both Balaram and Krishna. Although Krishna was playing the part of coward boy as the supreme personality of Godhead, he could understand everything, past, present, and future. So, when Pralambasura entered their company, Krishna began to think how to kill the demon. But externally, he received him as a friend. Oh, my dear friend, he said, it is very good that you have come to take part in our pastimes. Krishna then called all his friends and ordered them, "Now we shall play in pairs. We shall challenge one another in pairs." With this proposal, all the boys assembled together. So some of them took the sides of Krishna and some of them took the side of Balarama, and they arranged to play in duel. The defeated members in duel fighting had to carry the victorious members on their backs. They began playing and at the same time tended the cows as they proceeded through the Bandi Ravana forest. The party of Balarama, accompanied by Sridhama and Vrishabha, come out victorious, and Krishna's party had to carry them on their backs through the uh, Bandi Ravana forest. The supreme person of Godhead, Krishna, being defeated, had to carry Sridhama on his back, and Pra- Bhadrasena carried Vrishabha. Imitating their play, Pralambasura, who appeared there as a coward boy, carried Balarama on his back. Pralambasura was the greatest of the demons, and he had calculated that Krishna was the most powerful of the coward boys. In order to avoid the company of Krishna, Pralambasura carried Balarama far away. The demon was undoubtedly very strong and powerful, but he was carrying Balarama, who is compared with a mountain. Therefore, he began to feel the burden, and thus he assumed his real form. When he appeared in his real feature, he was decorated with a golden helmet and earrings, and looked just like a cloud with lightning carrying the moon. Balarama observed the demon's body expanding up to the limits of the clouds, his eyes dazzling like dazzling fire, and his mouth flashing with sharpened teeth. At first, Balarama was surprised by the demon's appearance, and he began to wonder, how is it that all of a sudden this career has changed in every way? But with a clear mind, he could quickly understand that he was being carried away from his friends by a demon who intended to kill him. Immediately, he struck the head of the demon with his strong fit, uh, fi- feet, fist, fist, just as the king of the heavenly planet strikes a mountain with his thunderbolt. Being stricken by the first of Balarama, the demon fell down. Dead, just like a snake with a smashed head, and blood poured from his mouth. When the demon fell, he made a tremendous sound, and it sounded as if a great hell were falling upon, being struck by the thunderbolt of King Indra. All the boys then rushed to the spot, being astonished by the uh, gas, gas, ghastly scene. They began to praise Balarama with the words, "Well done, well done." All of them then began to embrace Balarama with great affection, thinking that we had returned from death, and they offered their blessings and congratulations. All the demigods in the heavenly planets became very satisfied and showed flowers on the transcendental body of Balarama, and they also offered their blessings and congratulations for his having killed the great demon Pralambasura. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport of 18th chapter of Krishna killing the demon Pralambasura. Haribol.
Lord Balaram ki jai.
Jai,
Jai.
Jai, Jai.
Hare Krishna,
Next one.
Prabhu, please accept Mahabharata obeisances. All glories to Krishna Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Okay, who wants to start the first fire?
Is it
Prabhu,
any
can I
chapter,
read?
Prabhu? Okay.
Yes, Prabhu.
Prabhu, can you zoom out a little? Can I start?
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you. Very well.
While Krishna and Balrama and their friends were engaged in the pastimes described above, the cows, being unobserved, began to wander off their own, entering farther and farther into the deepest part of the forest, allured by fresh grasses. The goats, cows, and buffalo traveled from one forest to another and entered the forest known as Ishkitavi. This forest was full of green grass, and therefore they were allured. But when they entered, they saw that the forest fire, and they began to cry. On the other side, Balrama and Krishna, along with their friends, could not find their animals, and they became very aggrieved. They began to trace the cows by following the footprints, as well as the path of the eaten grass. All of the boys were fearing that their very means of livelihood, the cows were now lost. Soon, however, they heard the crying of their cows. Krishna began to call the cows by their respective names with a great noise. Upon hearing Krishna calling, the cows immediately replied with joy. But by this time, the forest fire surrounded all of them, and the situation appeared to be very fearful. The flames were increased and the wind blew very quickly, and it appeared that everything movable and immovable would be devoured. All the cows and boys became very frightened, and they looked towards Balrama the way a dying man looks at the picture of Supreme Personality of Godhead. They said, "Dear Krishna and Balrama, we are now burning from the heat of blazing fire. Let us take the shelter of your lotus feet. We know that you can protect us from this greatest danger. Our dear friend Krishna, we are your intimate friends. It is not right that we should suffer this in this way. We are completely dependent on you, and you are knower of all religious life. We do not know anything except you." The personality of God had heard the appealing voices of his friends, and casting a pleasing glance over them, he began to answer by speaking through his eyes. He impressed his friends that there was no cause of fear. Then Krishna, the supreme mystic, the powerful personality of Godhead, immediately swallowed up all fires, all flames of fire. The cows and boys were thus saved from imminent danger. Out of fear, the boys were almost unconscious, but when they regained their consciousness and opened their eyes, they saw that they were again in forest with Krishna, Balarama, and the cows. Uh, the They were astonished to see that they were completely free from the attack of blazing fire, and the cows were saved. They secretly thought of Krishna must not be ordinary but some demigod. In the evening, Krishna and Balarama, along with the boys, returned to Vrindavana to play their flutes. As they approached the village, all the gopis became very joyous. Throughout the day, gopis used to think of Krishna while he was in forest, and in his absence, they used to think of Krishna while he was in forest. They sang his praises and
Those in the Bhaktivedanta purport of like through, through, throughout the day of the gopis used to think of Krishna while he was in the forest, and in his absence they were considering one moment to be like 12 years. Those ends the Bhaktivedanta purport of 19th chapter of Krishna devouring the forest fire.
Haribo. Thank you so much.
Maybe Prabhu was
Very good.
busy.
1, 2, 3. Okay, tomorrow we read this next chapter of description of autumn. Read 6 and 7 prayers. Cheto darpanamarjanam pavamaha भैरवचन्द्रिका वितरणं विद्यावाजीवनम् अनन्तं बुद्धिवर्धनं प्रतिपदं पूर्णामृतस्वादनं सर्वात्मास्नपनं परं जयते श्रीकृष्णसङ्कीर्तनम्
नाम्नामकारि बहुधा निज सर्वशक्ति तत्रार्पिता नियमित स्मरेण काल एतद्विषि तव कृपा भगवन् ममापि दुर्दैवमुद्रीशम् इह जामिनानुग्रह
Trinad api sunichena taro api saheshnuna amanina manadena kritanya sadahari.
न जनं न सिन्धुरिं कवितं वा जगदीशकामये मम जन्मनि जन्मनीश्वरे भगवद्भक्तेरैतु गीत्वहि
ऐनन्दतनुजा
हे नन्दतनुजाते शरम् पतितां मां विषमे ध्रुवं ददाौ कृपया तव पदपङ्कजस्थितधूलिसदृशं विचिन्तया
Nam Galat. Yes, Prabhu.
Nayanam galada surudaraya vadanam gadgada rudaya gira pulagairi nechitam vapukada pravanam grahane bhavishyati.
Yugaitam
युगायि Please continue, brother. Continue.
Yaitam Jagat Sarvam Govinda Virahe Name.
आश्लिष्य वा पादरतं पिनस्तु मामदर्शनान्मर्महतं करोतु वा यथा तथा वा विददातु लम्पटो मत्प्राणनाथस्तु देवनापरः एवम्
Prabhupada,
Translation. Glory to Sri Krishna Sankirtanam, which cleanses the heart, all the dust accumulated, extinguishes the fire of conditional life of repeated birth and death. Sankirtan, prime benediction for humanity at large. It spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental life. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss. It enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious.
O my Lord, your holy name alone can render all benedictions to living beings, and thus you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names, you have invested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. O my Lord, out of kindness, you enable us to easily approach you by your holy names, but I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them.
one should chant the holy name.
One should chant.
One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respects to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly.
O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service, birth after death, birth.
O son of Maharaj Nanda Krishna, I am your eternal servitor, yet somehow or other I have fallen into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms at your lotus feet.
O my Lord, when will my eyes be decorated with tears of love flowing constantly when I chant your holy name? When will my voice choke up? And when will the hairs of my body stand on end at the recitation of your name?
Oh Govinda, feeling your separations, I am considering a moment to be like 12 years or more. Tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I am feeling all vacant in the world in your absence.
I know no one but Krishna as my Lord, and he shall remain so even if he handles me roughly by his embrace or makes me broken-hearted by not being present before me. He is completely free to do anything and everything, for he is always my worshipful Lord, unconditionally.
Haribo.
363.
Oh,
Jai.
yeah, feels
Jai.
like everyone wants to read, hey?
Yes, Prabhu.
Because I can see we clutching each other. The first offense is to blaspheme the devotees who have dedicated their lives for propagating the holy names of the Lord.
To consider the names of demigods like Lord Shiva or Lord Vishnu to be equal or independent of the names of Lord Vishnu.
To disobey the orders of the spiritual master and thinking him as an ordinary person.
To consider the chant, sorry.
Let's
To
read
consider
Vedic.
the Vedic scriptures or scriptures with the perseverance in the Vedic version. Like that only, na? Okay. To blaspheme the okay. To blaspheme the Vedic scriptures or scriptures in perseverance with the Vedic version. Sorry, Babu.
No problem. Consider
To consider
Hare Krishna to be imagination.
to give some interpretation of the holy names of the Lord.
Doing
To
some
commit
sinful act.
yeah, you
To
can go, Prabhu.
commit sinful activities on the strength of the holy name.
To instruct a faithless person. Okay. To consider the chanting of Hare Krishna as one of the auspicious ritualistic activities, Karmakanda.
To instruct the faithless person about the glories of the holy name.
Vishnu Prabhu, you can tell. Vishnu Prabhu. Last one.
Prabhu, I don't remember.
No, Prabhu will show inside.
Okay. To have complete faith in the chanting of holy name and to maintain material attachments even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. It is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting. Every devotee who claims to be Vaishnava must guard against these offenses in order to quickly achieve the desired success. Krishna Prema. Hari Bol.
Haribo.
Yes,
Thank you, Prabhu. Vanjakalpatarubhasya kripa sindhu eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Haribo.
Haribo.
People